Hello everyone and welcome to the 4th edition of the Maxxion knowledge series. Just to summarize the purpose and the flow of the series, our endeavor is to take small baby steps all together to reduce the vehicular pollution that is threatening our very existence. In the last 3 lectures we have seen what are the possibilities that lead to the increased vehicular pollution on the roads. And just to summarize, once we need to make sure that you are using the right fuel, your tires are not worn out, and there is no real big basic problem in the functioning of your engine, be it 2-wheelers, 4-wheelers, trucks, then you are well set if once the few parameters like fuel, tire, condition, other things are taken care of. Now we come to the most important aspect, which is the most critical aspect, which is the oil has to be used. Is basically determines the functioning of the engine. Now let us first just embark upon what is the engine oil and what are the functions of engine oil. Now basically engine oil is lubricant that is added in the engine and which provides efficient lubrication between the reciprocating parts of the engine, which is the piston and the cylinder, so that the engine temperature is maintained and there is a smooth functioning of the engine which requires lubrication. Now basically what are the types? Now basically there are 3 types of engine oils. One is the mineral oil based, semi-synthetic and synthetic. Now the basic source of this raw material is the same, which basically comes from the crude oil. So all distillates of the crude oil. A few of the other distillates from crude oil are also LPG, petrol, diesel, and this is another fraction which comes out from the large crude oil processing plant. Now basically the difference is the molecular structure. In mineral oil the molecular structure is unorganized, so the surface of the lubricant is slightly, it is not smooth. Semi-synthetic is smoother and synthetic is extremely smooth and clear. Here the layer is a bit crooked. So now what means by the grade? For example, we specified if you have a old car, say old Maruti Alto or something, you are specified by the manufacturer API CF4 15W40. Now what does this mean? API is the abbreviation for American Petroleum Institute, because a lot of manufacturers all over the world are making these cars and a lot of people are making oils. So how do you grade that? How do I know that what is my quality of my oil vis-a-vis others, any other oil? There is a certain institute that gives the grade of the oil, which specifies the kind of the viscosity gradient that is there. Now what is the meaning of 15W40? This is basically a multi-grade oil, which means that the viscosity remains constant over a certain temperature, which is the operating temperature outside. Now what it means is that in the old days, if you've seen, maybe in our childhood days or slightly before that, if we had those old cars, those old Fiat Ambassador cars, in winter days, you crank the engine, they wouldn't start. You would need to pump it. That is because the engine would frozen, the oil would get frozen due to low temperature. Similarly, during the summers, you would find a lot of trucks on the road. They're just standing and blocking the road. That is because of the high temperature, the engine is got overheated, the oil viscosity has gone beyond the expected and the engine has got heated up. So to avoid that, this multi-grade oils have been introduced, which are there for the last around 30 years. Now, what are the losses that have happened? Now, I'm assuming that you're using the right kind of engine oil specified, the right grade, all the other parameters in the car are good. Now, still, what are the losses? Now, there are 2 types of losses. The type 1 losses are the usage of the losses. That is, as you keep the vehicle gets older and older, the wear and tear increases, corrosion, oxidation increases. So what it effectively means is that the surface of the engine is worn out, which makes the whole process inefficient and more losses happen, due to which the additional pollution happens and the engine becomes inefficient. And during running is basically 2 types of losses. One is the frictional loss. Obviously because of the heat generation at the point of the reciprocating point, there is a heat generated and due to the friction losses are there. And of course the unburnt fuel. Now unburnt fuel depends on the condition of the engine anyway. If there is a lot of wear and tear oxidation, then the surface is undulated, a lot of unburnt fuel is left, which basically comes out from the silencer as the effluent and that increases the pollution. Now what we will study next time is that once effectively what happens is that if you reduce any of all these losses, for example, control these losses, what will happen? The power input will increase, because whatever the energy generated is lost in this is now is going to be transferred to power output. Conversely, for the same power output, for the same running of the engine, other things being constant, you will have lesser fuel is required. Your engine will become fuel efficient. You save on the fuel cost, and that leads to lesser pollution. Now, how do we choose the right oils, and how? And actually, next knowledge series we will be doing the actual practical trials as to how the use of the oils will reduce the pollutions and the heat generation in the engine and increase the fuel efficiency. Thank you for your patient listening. If you like my video series, please subscribe to it, like to it, and thank you very much. Stay healthy, stay negative. Have a good day.